Thank you, Malvern Books, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to start by reading why I titled this book Twisted. There are lots of books with twisted in the title. When I first thought about that title, there weren't as many, but every year there seems to be more and more. But I was asked if I would change the title now that I know that there are so many books named Twisted, and I would not, because of this reason. Based on Webster's New Universal Unabridged Dictionary, here are 11 definitions of the word twist or twisted, and every single one relate to this book. Twist, verb transitive. 1, to combine as 2 or more strands or threads by winding together. 2, to alter in shape, as by turning the ends in opposite directions. 3, to distort the meaning or form of, pervert. 4, to cause to become mentally or emotionally distorted. 5, to warp or bend tortuously. 6, to turn something from one direction to another. 7, to combine or associate intimately. Verb intransitive. 8, to become intertwined. 9, to writhe or squirm. 10, to turn so as to face in another direction. Noun. 11, the stress causing this alteration. Chapter 1, Sarah. The book is told from 2 first-person points of view. Sarah. Teachers didn't see you sneak out, did they, Sarah? Howard Blake's whisper reached out to me, coaxing me deeper into the darkness. Don't think so. My voice, thin as tracing paper, disintegrated in the night air, maybe before it even reached the night air. What was I doing? Evening had stolen all the black from the sky, draping it in veiled shades of black. The lone glimmer of light, a slender, curved moon high overhead, dangled among sooty clouds. Pastor Johnson wouldn't like me being here. He'd add this transgression to my growing list of sins. We shouldn't do this. Not here. We have to. Please, Sarah. The quiver in Howard's plea reminded me of a bluegrass guitar, its strings vibrating long after being plucked. Behind me, muffled chords from Faith Hill's There You'll Be leaked from the gym, tempting me back to the dance floor. Inside me, adrenaline bubbled like a shaken bottle of Dr. Pepper, its foam out of control, making me dizzy with risk. Dizzy and excited. Please, please, please. Howard pressed his palms together and held them in front of his lips. You can't leave. Don't worry, I said to calm his nervousness and mine. Applause skidded into the night. New music, louder, faster, matching my heartbeat. We can't stay here, Howard said. They'll find us. Sport jacket sleeves draped to his fingertips, handcuffs bunched in excess around his ankles. Poor Howard. Daddy had splurged on my strapless dress. Howard got stuck with his brother's hand-me-downs. He fiddled with the longhorn bolo on his braided leather necktie, slid it up and down, the tarnished bull more confident than either of us. I know a good spot, he said. A thicket of clouds slid across the moon and masked its light. It's too dark now, I said, glad to have an excuse to go back inside. Don't chicken out. You can follow the wall. Howard slipped deeper into the night. Only his voice stayed close. Come on, you promised. Promise was a promise, Daddy would say. Your word, your actions, reflect the honesty of your character. I didn't feel honest sneaking out like this, but I reminded myself of my goal, and it was only this once. What could one time hurt? Filling my lungs with the late spring air, I breathed in my resolve. I could do this. I would do this. I dragged my fingers along Cannonville High's prickly bricks, arched my feet and inch forward on tiptoes. Mom would have a fit if my imitation Valentino heels sank into the dirt. Let's dance right here, I said, when I reached the corner of the building. Field crickets sounded a Morse code. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Chirp, chirp, chirp. My feet anchored with their call. We don't have to go any farther. We're almost there. Come on. I chose the perfect spot. You'll see. Who would have thought learning to dance would be so important to a guy like Howard? But fitting in, being accepted, geez, just to feel normal, I understood all that. If dancing was the answer for Howard, I had to help him. Wait up, Howard! My toes crushed against the front of my shoes as I hurried to stay close. Halfway along the back of the building, he stopped. If this was Howard's perfect place to dance, he knew less than I thought. I didn't expect strobe lights, and there weren't any stars, but even the field lights along the west side of the running track offered no glow. Town vandals had once again used them as target practice, leaving each bulb atop its pole exposed and shattered. Thankfully, the moon peeked out from behind knobby clouds, providing pale, if unreliable light. We'll start with the basics, I told him. You'll pick up the steps faster than Mr. Noble can give out tardy slips. They told me you'd be special. He turned his head down, his eyes unable to meet mine. I hadn't meant to embarrass him. Wow, I could do that to a guy? A warm haze replaced my shimmying insides. I lowered my chin, gave him a mock frown. Who told you I was special? My tone came out way too flirty. I quickly added, I'm curious, that's all. None of the freshman girls talked with Howard, except me, a little. So if they said I was special, maybe I shouldn't have worried about dancing with him in front of them. Nope, too risky. Got enough judgment from Mama. Didn't need any from uppity classmates. But here, behind the gym, where nobody would see, I could be nice. I could be a friend. And not because my boyfriend, the real love of my life, was at home, not even knowing how I felt about him, but because everybody needed a friend, a special friend, even Howard. Didn't think you'd really come. Me neither. Giddiness toyed with me. Kinda nice, kinda weird, relaxing my shoulders, stretching my smile. He stabbed the ground with the point of his boot. Glad you're here. I was glad too, but I didn't say that. I just hoped he didn't step on my toes with those clodhoppers. How'd I explain that jerk to Mama? I didn't say that either. Should we start? Howard leaned up to give me a kiss. He smelled of licorice. I turned my face, not from the smell, but because Pastor Johnson said it wasn't right to let a boy have more than a cheek kiss. Hey, don't be so selfish. I'm not. Leastways, I didn't mean to be. Don't pretend. You know you want to. Did I? Confusion formed like delicate dewdrops. Did I really? Maybe. No. Yes. No, I wasn't like that. My throat constricted as I strained to keep my voice neutral. We wanted to dance. Just one kiss. One kiss won't hurt. I touched my lips with my fingertips. How would it feel? A boy's lips on mine. Gentle and sweet. Loving like in the movies. Howard could be like a secret admirer. No one would have to know, but me, of course. And my kindness to him would change him from frog into prince. He leaned up again, and the dewdrops evaporated. I let him kiss me. Sloppy, wet lips covered mine. Then a slobbery tongue dove into my mouth. Yuck! I pulled back. He pushed his hands against the back of my head, pressing it forward, and thrust his body against mine. My back scraped against the building, but I worried about my new dress more than my bare skin. If the rough bricks chafed the material, Mom would be furious. She'd complain about Daddy spending all that money and me not being respectful of what he gave me. I pushed Howard away. He reached out and squeezed my right breast. Wow, you really got nice ones. I smacked his hand. What do you think you're doing? Isn't that why you're here? To have a little fun? Pity for him vanished. I'm going inside. I adjusted the top of my dress. How dare he? A kiss was one thing, but a feel? He could stay a frog forever. I spun to my right. 3 boys stood not a bus length away.